Flosstube! Welcome to my channel. I'm Jessie and this is Magical Anime Stitcher. How's everyone doing? Um, it is Sunday, February 2nd. I am recording this on a beautiful afternoon here in Southeast Texas. I just had a lovely birthday lunch with my mom. My birthday was earlier this week. I am 48. It's so hard to believe. It's like in my brain I'm 26, so it's hard to imagine being 48, but I am. I had a great week. I started out my week in Chicago for a work conference, which was a very good inspirational work conference. But I flew home and arrived at home at 1 a.m. on Thursday morning, and so I'm still exhausted. I'm still catching up, in terms of rest and everything. But I had to go straight back into work because we're in the midst of work deadlines. And in fact, I'm going to be working this evening after I finish all the videos and everything. But otherwise, it was a good birthday week. And so, but obviously it was a work day, my actual birthday. My husband and I did our personal birthday celebration. We had sushi and gifts and things like that. And today we met my mom we usually meet her pretty regularly, so this is really kind of a regular lunch, but we shrouded it under birthday celebration. Anyway, so January was not a good stitchy month, has a general numbers wise. It's a busy work month for me. Every year I say I'm going to do things differently in the year, so that way January doesn't always go so bad. And it never happens. January, despite whatever changes I make in the year, always ends up being a bad month. This year was no different. Although I will say, I think it improves year over year. And so I have more notes to myself about how to improve. But as a result, though, I worked almost every day. There was not a day in January since weekend one where I was not working every single day. I have a lot of overtime. I'm officially donating time to the company. I've capped out on my comp leave that they give you when you work an excess 40 hours. And so it's time for me to take a break. But our deadline is tomorrow on Monday. I think I'll meet it. Let's hope I meet it. And then I got some work I gotta do, but then time to rest. But as a result of that, I didn't do as much as I would have normally liked to have done. There were days where I really only put in 25 or 30 stitches in a project. But any day stitching is a good day. Any day not doing things that you shouldn't be doing is a good day. So I stitched for 18 days out of the 31. In total, 3,987 stitches. Again, some of those days, just small amounts, just finish it, do a piece of thread. But I'm going to take the wins where I got, which is I had 2 finishes in January. So my theme for this year, I think in my last video, I hadn't decided what I was going to be doing. And I kind of was vibing with the let's finish some stuff kind of things. But I didn't want to put any kind of theme on it, right? Oldest whips. I always have that. I always want to finish whatever I started at least 2 years before as being a priority, with the exception of full coverage pieces and or BAPs, not full coverage, BAPs. I don't put that in there. So for it being 2025, the goal is to finish anything that was started in 2023 or earlier. So that tends to be my general finishing kind of goals for the year. Always has been, probably will continue this year. But I also, it's were there other things that I'm I just want to get done? And so my theme for the year is going to be finish what needs to be finished, whatever that is in my mind, because I plan on a new start in spring for a Frosted Pumpkin seasonal stitch where I have already done winter and fall or autumn. And so I'm I'd like to go ahead and do the spring and summer pieces for that. So my theme for the year is going to be finish what needs to get finished. And that includes existing projects of my 23 and older whips that I would like to work on. And then any things that are kind of put together that I would really kind of want to focus on. So that way I can get to stitching what I want to be stitching in a more, I always skip in a casual way, but you know what I'm saying. But I had 2 finishes. And so the first one up is Dr. Georgina Wyndham. This is by Forbidden Fiber Co. I stitched on this for 7 days. I put in 1,521 stitches in that. And this is by Forbidden Fiber Co. Everything floss and fabric by Forbidden Fiber Co. And this is 32 count linen love potion. So part of her steampunk sheep line, there's a whole slew of them, like 8 of them or something. I've done 2 of them now. So I will pick up another one of these. I'll probably go back and order and see what the order is. I don't remember what it is right out the top of my head, but that will probably be something I will start in the next month or two because I do like working on these. These are really easy travel pieces and they're fun. Like they're just fun, right? Like how can you not be happy stitching on a steampunk sheep? So, but really lovely. I have a plan to finish these in a fabric book. So has Leanne sent us every month. She sent us well, if you, assuming you ordered them, there was a little gazette that kind of told you the story of what was going on in this Sheepville land. I don't remember the name of the town. And so my idea is that I'm going to finish it in some type of a soft book type of scenario where one side will be the stitching and then on the other side will be the story related to that character. Apologies, coughing. So, sorry, that was now nice little clink. But I'm not going to finish the entire steampunk sheep line this year because there's so many. But I do want to finish them. So they will be some type of intentional focusing on them. I was only working on them as travel pieces when I was taking them to the football games and things like that. I don't think I'm going to do that going forward. I think I'm going to intentionally stitch on them as part of rotations and that kind of stuff. But that's where we are on that one. So that one was really very an exciting finish on that one. So the next thing that I finished and focused on was the Ever After Cell, also by Forbidden Fiber Co. And so here it is in full back here. Let's go ahead and try to get back here so you can see the thing all in full. And then a little bit of a detailed type of thing. So this is also everything by Forbidden Fiber Co. 2/2 on 32 count linen, and this fabric is called Ever After. I think dyed specifically for the cell. So if you have this and you have not started stitching on it, I don't know if Leanne corrected this, so I only know about the patterns that I was looking at. There's the border is off. Somewhere around here, the pattern has it 1 stitch over. So it will not line up. I noticed it, and so I adjusted. Most of this doesn't require any type of adjustments if you haven't stitched this yet or you haven't gotten to it yet. Just letting you know that if you want your right border to line up, and I'm pretty sure I could no longer choose a favorite star in the heavens is the one where it happens. And then from there down, everything is that 1 stitch over. So you're going to want, if you're going to want that lined up, you're going to have to adjust. Check your pattern. She may have corrected it, depending on when you purchased it or when it's available. I don't know. But like you're going to want to adjust that. In most of them, you don't have to do any adjustments. You can stitch everything as it is, and you're just going to adjust the one on the right. So it really is only you're looking at heavens, I'm only here for the food, and then of course the charming quote at the end is the ones that you're going to adjust over. This one, not a big deal. It's just stars. Like no one's going to notice that that's not where it's supposed to be. For the food, however, you are going to have to adjust it over a stitch. But I think you just have to be aware of that. So you move it over a stitch. And then this one, I made some mistakes in here. You probably won't be able to notice, but I did a similar thing where I just moved everything over a stitch, and I don't think you would notice that everything got moved over a stitch. It's still balanced. It's still everything along that lines. So lots of fun. I didn't quite finish it while doing a rewatch of the movie, but my husband had never seen it before, and so it was really fun to watch him watch it. And he was like, "This is a very strange retelling of Ever After." I'm like, "It's the best." So, or retelling of Cinderella, and so, but he enjoyed it. So there it is. But super happy with this. I will probably just frame this. Is probably my intention of how I plan on finishing it, but that's not going to be a priority for now. It's just going to go into my to be finished. Fully finished drawer. All right. Now it was January, so it was a new year, new start, as you have to do. And so I was trying to decide what I wanted my intention for the year to be. I wanted to do a new start that kind of reflected some of my intentions. And some of you know that I am a legal aid attorney. And so I thought, you know what, I want to do something that's fun, that has a lot of fun to it, a little bit lighthearted, but with still some meaning behind it. And so how could you not? I had to start Spaghetti Western by Ardith Designs. So this is obviously a spaghetti Western. And so it's a sampler of a Western, and these are all different types of pastas around, and this is Yeehaw for good food and social justice. Now, because I am a legal aid attorney, I am thinking about removing the word social and just for good food and justice, or maybe changing social to legal, something like that, because obviously I do more than what would be considered social justice. And so that's what I'm thinking about doing. But that is a new start on January 1st. And I worked on it for a total of 6 days. And this is 638 stitches is where we are. So here it is, just a little bit closer. I am doing this with all of the called for General Arts thread, 2/2, and this is on 32 count Lugana. This is Cherrific by Yummy Fiberlicious Fibers. So this is fun. This actually stitched pretty quickly. I really, really enjoyed working on it. And so, looking forward to continuing that. This is also going to remain a focus piece in, February and March, so forth, in terms of something I want to finish and get on my wall in my office. All right. Next up is my Texans logo. This is now my travel football piece. This is the piece I'm taking to football games. We did have a home game. We had one playoff game here in Houston for the Texans. And so I did take this in. I worked on this for one day and 95 stitches. And really all I did was just finish this part of the horn, and I started going down, and you barely can see it. I'm starting to work on the star right there. This is by Sporticulture. Is a kit, and I got it from Joann's, and this is 18 count kit provided Aida. And I will probably stitch this more than once. I just thought I would go ahead and do the first kit with me trying to play around with the star, make some mistakes on it, and then kind of go from there. Because you can see the way that the star is charted, I don't think that looks really pretty great. So I'm going to see if I can fix that on my onesies. But you will probably not see this again until the fall, because this is my travel piece for football games. And we won't have another game till August for preseason. But there you go. Very proud of our Texans. We did, we weren't, you always hope you go all the way, but we weren't expected to go all the way. But we had a pretty good solid season. There's some mistakes, things we can learn off, but really proud of the team and the improvements that they've made. And honestly, it's okay. So last but not least is I did work on Thai Dragon. I was thinking in terms of the Lunar New Year is early this year, comparatively. Normally Lunar New Year falls in February, but this year it was early. It was on January 29th of this year. And so I thought, well, I'm going to work on Thai Dragon, and I had hoped to try to get focused on it to be able to finish it before my birthday, but that didn't happen. But I am going to continue to do the best that I can. I was born in the year of the dragon in 1977, and so the lunar cycle of the zodiac is every 12 years, and so normally, most people who were born in 1976 turned 48 in the year of the dragon. Well, for some of us, where we're not in part of the January, February, when the Lunar New Year adjusts, because it's adjusted based on calendar and the moon cycle, there were a handful of us. So because about people who were born in that 1 week, I think the Lunar New Year in 77 was like February 11th or something like that. We all turned 48 outside of the year of the dragon. We all turned 48 in the year of the snake. It's the year of the wood snake. And I don't know what that means. I didn't actually go look up any like any astrologers to kind of evaluate if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Like, what does it mean for a dragon to not have their, I don't know, cyclical birthday in their year? Like, does that impact what kind of year we're going to have? I don't know. But anyways, I wanted to work on Thai Dragon. And so here we are. And this is my design. Not really. I did find a piece of artwork, some clip art that I transitioned into a design. And so really all I did was work on the body, like continuing the outline of the body. So this is 1 day's worth of stitching, and I put in 187 stitches into it. And so yeah, I didn't get very far. I didn't finish. I don't know if that's a good sign for my Chinese good luck zodiac. So wish me luck if it's bad. If it's bad luck, So, but, oh, this is 32 count Lugana. Do you see what I see by Yummy Fiberlicious Fibers? And obviously it's my own choices, but it's DMC 2/2 with DMC that I have called for. So, but that's it. That's all of my stitching that I got done in January. I don't know what else to tell you. Busy at work. Had a birthday. Got gifts. Gonna work today. All right, plans for February. So my plans for February are focusing on things that need to be finished. It's kind of what my thoughts are. But I also never, go too far. So my focus piece that I've decided for February is going to be Greenhouse of Oddities. That's going to by Lola Crow Design. So I'm going to be focusing on that. I do not think I will be able to focus to finish it. I'm currently at around 35% finish on that. That's a lot of stitching to get done, but it is a focus. So the idea is that I'm going to pretty much work on it whenever I still feel like working on it. I will rotate in some other pieces because I feel like need to kind of get done. And so my rotation is going to be Greenhouse of Oddities. I am still working on Stitch for Pride for 2024. I'm going to vicariously stitch through everyone who's doing the Stitch for Pride for 2025. It was really hard. The FOMO was real on choosing not to do that. But I wanted 2025 to be focused on finishing what needed to be finished and not necessarily finishing or starting things that I don't feel that, here's the thing. It will be available. At some point in time, if Dee does the same thing that they did for 2024, the individual pieces will be available later on down the line, down the road and things like that. And I can always choose to do it at that time. And so recognizing that just because the answer is no now doesn't mean it's no forever. It just means it's no for now. And so stitching vicariously for Stitch for Pride 2025, but I'm going to finish 2024. That's going to kind of be my second focus of February. I'm focusing on Greenhouse, but I want to do Stitch for Pride as an effort. I have 3 more months left on that. I kind of got behind in October, November, and December. And so I have 3 months. And so my thought is do one a month for February, March, and April. It's kind of my thought, but we'll see what kind of vibe I get going on that. And so that's it. And then kind of whatever else I kind of want to fit into that. And I don't know what that's going to be at this point in time. So those are kind of my 2 projects that I think for sure I really want to work on. Everything else is going to kind of be what I'm vibing with. And then kind of go from there. I did sign up for Stitching Siren in San Antonio in June. I was up to July, but I don't think it's July. It's June. There's still some space available. That's the last post that I saw, which was a couple of days ago. There's still around 50 spots available. If you want to come join me in San Antonio, it's a lovely, lovely city. I enjoy it. Although really, I only went for stitching, but I live in Texas. I've been to San Antonio a lot. It's a really lovely city to visit. Excellent Mexican food, very different from other parts of Texas and Mexican food. And you're going to get more interior Mexican food there. It's going to be more more that than you are, and of course the closer you get to the border, but in terms of like the major cities that's outside of the valley, you know, it's got excellent, and but Texas, we got good food down here, just saying. And so if you want to join, come join me and let me know if you would come join me, and then you can join my little table. Just inviting people to my table. Not that I have like ownership of it, and like the other people, I don't know. Anyway, shut up, I'm saying. All right. So that's it. That's my stitchy update. Since this is kind of my second video, I was thinking about, do I want to do a bit? Like, should I do a bit for like my channel? Like, in terms of like what I'm watching and that kind of stuff. Well, this magical anime stitcher. How about I tell you about what anime I'm watching? And so right now, we are doing 2 anime series that are Netflix. They're both on Netflix, although you can get the other ones on and stuff. But we finished watching season 1 of the Knights of the Apocalypse, which is a 7 Deadly Sins storyline on Netflix. It's such a silly thing, but it's a lot of fun about demons and angel race and humans, and King Arthur is a storyline, but they kind of turn things to things that are a little bit on its head, but they're really fun, boppy, like low risk kind of, you're looking for something fun. We finished season 1. Seasons 2 came out on my birthday, and we just started watching season 2 last night. So we tend to do like 1 or 2 episodes a night until we finish. So we are watching the 7 Deadly Sins sequel series for Knights of the Apocalypse, 4 Knights of the Apocalypse. And so that's been a lot of fun. And we are also doing for me, a slight rewatch, because I watched the original but never got around to watching the remade one of Fullmetal Alchemist. We're watching Brotherhood, and so that's dark though. Like it's there's humor, but let's be real. If you have watched Fullmetal Alchemist, it's a bit dark, and so but we are now doing a rewatch of Fullmetal Alchemist as well. So those are the animes that we are currently watching. There's more that I would like to watch, and I might pick up a little bit more in my own personal watching when my husband is not around, but truthfully, though, I'm doing a watch of Call the Midwife, which is not something he's really interested in watching. And so I've been watching that when he's not around, and I'm just watching something to stitch, and I'm not watching Flosstube. So I've been watching Call the Midwife, and I'm in season 11 now. So I think I'm almost caught up. But that's probably when I'll bring in some more anime that I would want to watch. My husband's not a big anime fan. I'm the anime fan in the household. And he watches some of it to tolerate, but we try to pick things that we know that we'll both like. So that's what I'm watching. Are you watching anything fun? Let me know. You have to keep, without saying anything beyond this, always maintain healthy mental health boundaries for yourself. For us, it's a lot of watching of TV and stitching. All right, with that, I'm always going to tell you my joke. For those of you who stayed to the end, congratulations. Thank you. You've made it for this lovely joke. All right. Ready? 2 windmills are on a hill, and one turns to the other and says, "Hey, what kind of music do you like?" And then the other looked him back. This lovely little turbine windmill said, "All my life, I've always been a heavy metal fan." Wherever you are, I'm hoping you're having a magical stitchy time. And I'll see you next month. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.